Okay, so this morning we're going to talk about solar return on investment and also give a little bit of information on our exciting Tesla battery giveaway. So, return on investments, right? So, one of the main reasons that people choose to go solar is the overall saving of money in comparison to getting their electricity the old-fashioned way from the utility companies. So what we'll just kind of go through payback periods, some examples, just the other benefits of solar when you're looking at it from a return on investment situation. So how do we kind of figure an ROI? Return on investment measures the financial benefits of solar panel installation relative to the costs of installing those panels. So, solar panels offer a long-term savings. So there's upfront cost involved. Sometimes, depending on the model used for you to get your solar panels. If we're looking at a straight like return on investment, cash out of hand or financing, you're looking at what is my overall long-term benefit of doing this type of construction project. One of the things that often gets left out in those ROI calculations is the increased property value, right? So, just like if you do any other construction project, you add a room, refinish some bathrooms in your house. There's increased property value in doing those type of projects. Adding solar is no different. It's increasing the property value, and therefore there's an additional return on investment to be considered in that particular piece of it. And then, of course, reducing your reliance on grid power. That is a not only an economic return on investment, but you're also an environmental return on investment, right? There's no question scientifically at this point that power plants, burning coal, burning natural gas, like the way that we traditionally produce power in this country, it causes a level of pollution. Whether you think that's an effect on the overall global warming and that whole situation, that's a whole nother topic. But what we can 100% all agree on is it affects the local people living around there, air quality. There's plenty of research out there showing that people living close to power plants have a higher risk of particular health issues. So we know that the traditional way of producing power has pollution tied to it. So there is definitely an environmental benefit when you put solar panels on. Okay, and so while I'm on that topic, I'll just hit on the return on investment of that, right? Because the argument typically back to that is, well, there was a lot of dirty energy used to produce those solar panels. That is true. I'm not going to argue that one bit. Typically, the factories and stuff are being powered from those same dirty resources. But the studies show that the amount of power that it takes to produce a single solar panel, that solar panel will produce that much power within 1 year. So, these things are warranted for at least 25 years, expected to live a lot longer than that. So, that environmental return on investment is about 12 months per solar panel. So kind of looking at it from getting back to the economic side of those return on investments, your installation cost on average somewhere between $10,000 to $25,000 after your incentives. In Illinois, sometimes with some of the additional incentives going on there, we've seen those overall installation costs be down around $4,000 or $5,000 after all the incentives, just kind of depending on how well the system's going to perform, as well as some other factors there. But overall, your average payback period, whether you're in Illinois or Missouri, you're typically seeing somewhere between 5 and 10 years on what your investment in the system is compared to what you're paying for electricity with the standard inflation rate on that year after year. Okay. So what we know about electricity in the prices of it is that we've had some big spikes over the last few years. There's a lot of expectation of that continuing here for the foreseeable future around just where we're going back to, dirty power plants, the transitions of moving away from those fuel sources. There's a reason why we've used coal a lot for producing electricity. It is cheap and it produces electricity well. But as we move away from those super cheap production methods, there's a lot going on there that costs money. Building new factories, changing fuel types, all these things going into the continued increase in cost. You tie that then with infrastructure upgrades needing to happen all across the country, and you can see the trajectory of the cost of electricity from our power companies is going to continue to rise above just normal inflation, right? Like we know that cost of living, all those types of things are paying employees, naturally causes things to increase slightly year over year. You tag on top of that all the additional things we just touched on, the infrastructure, the power sources changing. There's additional increases that we're going to continue to see time and time again from the power company. So one of the biggest returns on your investment is just stepping away from that methodology, right? Like you are renting, you're leasing your power, you could say, from a power company that is going to continuously have increases in their cost. Whereas when you move to producing your own power, you have your own power plant, you are now paying a fixed rate for power. If you look at it from a loan standpoint, you're paying on it for X amount of years, and then you are getting free power after that. So that's when we talk about these payback periods. That's what we're looking at based on what you're paying now for power. Just applying that same payment type to buying your solar power, you are going to be free and clear of the cost of power, in that 5 to 10 year range. Now we're an instant gratification type of society these days. So many times I hear people go, "Oh, 10 years, that's so long. I don't even know if I'm going to be here in this house for that long." Completely understand that. Some things, that's where that whole increased home value piece has to come into play. I did a whole webinar on that. You can go back and find it on YouTube where I break down the just those overall costs, the return on investment you expect when you're selling your home with solar, but just generalities, you can expect somewhere between 50 to 70% of the cost, the retail cost of the system. And if you look at, you're getting a 30% tax credit, you can see right off the bat that you're going to be in a good return on the investment standpoint when you go to sell your home. Okay. So a few other notes here in the webinar, just looking at your cost per kilowatt hour. That's how we purchase power. That's how power electricity is measured, right? So the average for the grid is around 16 to 17 cents a kilowatt hour currently, whereas when you're getting solar, you're typically between 6 and 10 cents a kilowatt hour. Okay, so average lifetime savings over a 25-year system life is usually somewhere between 40 and 50,000. I've seen several systems go well over $100,000 in savings over the life of their system. So the return on investment is very, very high if your home sets up well for solar. So here's a real life case study, a picture of a home where we've installed solar here. This is a smaller system, just 6.4 kilowatts. Their total cost after their tax credit, just touch under $13,000. Break-even point was 8 years, and over 20 years, we just had this broke down over 20 years. That's typically what the loan term is for solar. But you can see is projected to be $34,000 there in savings. So yeah, we touched on the additional benefits of reducing your carbon emissions, and that return on investment there. And then, as I mentioned, with property value, you'll find you can dig out a lot of information on this. The studies, I think, can be a little skewed. So I like to take that information in, but I don't use any of those studies that you'll find out there as like, oh, this is exactly how it would be. That Zillow, for example, says that, looking at all their data, so homes that have been sold with solar have sold at an average of 4.1% higher than homes without solar. So the issue you kind of run into with using that logic across the board is that the majority, they're using data over the past 20 years where most of solar was installed in California, where the average home price is, I think, close to $1 million at this point. So, 4.1% of $1 million would be 40 grand. That you use that same logic on a house in the Midwest that's maybe, $200,000. Well, then it's 8 grand. Well, is that solar system really $12,000 or $32,000 less valuable here as it is there? No, not really. It's really, calculated the appraisal journal. So the magazine that is for appraisers has came out and said that you should do a calculation based off of how much the dollar savings per year is of a solar system. And they say you can go as much as $20 per dollar saved per year. I think that's a little high still. I think a lot of that is going to depend on the age of the system, but the overall economics of it prove to show that you're going to return a large portion of what you paid out for a solar system when you go to sell your home. So kind of my rule of thumb, if you're going to be in your home for more than 2 years, you're comfortable about knowing that you're going to be there at least 2 years, then you should be in a good spot to be looking at solar, because the money you're going to save in your electric bill over that time frame, tax credits you're going to receive, you're going to be able to sell the home with the system on it for at least that much more of what your remaining balance is there. So that's kind of the meat of the webinar today. Just kind of going through that return on investment. Of course, if you have additional questions, want to really dig through the numbers, give us a call, send us an email, fill out our form on our website. We'll get one of our experts to sit down with you and go through everything, because each home is a little bit different. There is no, cookie cutter. Many companies try to take a cookie cutter approach to solar, but the reality is no home sits in the exact same spot. Even homes, that are built on the same design plan and everything, they sit in a slightly different spot, slightly different sun exposure. There could be different shading aspects. So we want to look at each home individually, look at your electrical use individually, and really make sure we put together an entire picture for you when it comes to quoting this out, so that you have all the information you need to make a decision. So the other thing we want to touch on today is the fact that we've got an exciting giveaway going on. We are actually giving away a Tesla battery fully installed at your home. This is about $18,000 value. And so it does not require that you have solar. Obviously, tying solar with the battery is where you get the most out of it. But a battery backup is the equivalent to having a generator, right? Having backup power when the power goes out. So, people say, oh, hold on, how would a battery work if I don't have solar? So a battery can charge from the grid. So you could have a battery, standalone battery that charges from the grid, and then if there's a power outage, well, now you're kicking over and you're running off that battery. Obviously, if you have solar at the same time, then that power is, you can continue to recharge that battery. So if we're sitting in an extended power outage, that's how you continuously would go on and on without the need for the grid. But if you would like to sign up for that Powerwall giveaway, you can go to our website. It's suncent.com/Tesla. Or if you're joining us online with the webinar, there is a QR code there. And then that contest, we're gonna draw the winner on Super Bowl Sunday. So that'll be on our YouTube channel. You'll be able to jump on there and see that winner announced. That'll be Super Bowl Sunday. So you have up till a week before that to register for that battery, 1 entry per home on those. And then also excited to announce that we are running a Christmas special on solar systems. So if you sign up for a solar system between now and Christmas, you will receive $100 off per panel. If you say average system size is usually around 25 panels, so that would be $2,500 off a system when you get signed up between now and Christmas. So give yourself a Christmas present, your family's future Christmas present, and get your quotes right now so that you can take advantage of that special. Contact information there as well. Oop, I'll go back to, sorry, I wanted to go back real quick here. Make sure everybody saw the YouTube channel right there. So youtube.com/@SunScentSolar. You really got to make sure you get that extra in there. Google and the search engines like to think you're saying sunset, but SunScent Solar. Find us on YouTube. You can find lots of information, lots of videos like these. That's also where you will see the drawing for the Tesla battery giveaway on Super Bowl Sunday. So thanks again. And oh, let me see if I've got a wheel to spin for our $25 gift card. So excited about the other specials. I forgot about the one for joining us here. Let me reshare my screen. All right, and with just 2 of you here, pretty good odds. Let me give it a click and spin. Sean or Alan, who is going to be our lucky winner today? Oh, Alan. Congratulations, Alan. Our marketing team will be reaching out to you via email to get your details to get you that gift card. Thanks for joining us. Check to see if we've got any questions. I don't see anything in the box. So if we don't have any additional questions, we'll let you all go. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday.